All right, and Shalaki. I'd like to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rachak Wadash, double honors to the elder apostles, GMS who rule well, and also honor and salutation to those of you who are of the hopeful elect and are out there teaching the word in sincerity and truth. All right, so today I want to pick up where I left off. I don't remember what I called the show. Give me a second. Just want to see what I called it really quick. Their inward thought. Their houses shall continue forever. What I did was I went into this article talking about. Matter of fact, it's right here. Let me see. It's called Five Reasons Why America Will Not Collapse Like the Roman Empire, and this is the sentiment of most people. They feel like America is going to continue on and and never be destroyed. That made me think of a couple of scriptures. One is Psalms. I may have read this in the last part, but I'll go to it again. This is Psalms 49:11. It says, "Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names." Right. So they think that their way of life, their countries, their lands, their principles, or whatever goes into or embodies being what they are. They think that that's going to continue on for many generations, right? So I also thought of another scripture. I think it's this is Ecclesiastes 8:11. It says, "Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil." Right. So again, because they haven't been punished for the things that they've done, right? Not only to our people, but to the whole entire world, to the plants, to the animals, to the air, the water, all the things that they've done on the earth, because they haven't paid for them yet. They think that it's going to continue on, and that the Lord is with these things. And this article is again indicative of that, right? It just goes to show the pomp. And I don't even know if this is an Edomite or not that wrote it. Judging by the name Paul Ratner, I would say that it is. But nevertheless, this is the sentiment of all people that don't have their mind set on America being destroyed, right? So I left off on the second part, or the second reason, if you will. So I wanted to pick up on the third reason. Okay. Um, so I'll read it here. It says, the military situation is vastly different, right? So if you've done any kind of homework, you know that, well, I can't say that. That's not a fair statement, because really only the men of the Lord know these things. But that I will say this, that um, when you understand the scriptures, you understand that America is just an extension of the Roman Empire. They're not two different entities. They're not. This is not something else. Or that's the Roman Empire is not something that happened in the past. Well, it is, but this is just an extension of it. This is a continuation of it. It fell, and then another group of people ruled, and then it revived. Okay, so this is not something separate. So it says, so with that being said, uh, their military principles are going to be the same. They're going to do the same type of things that they did in the ancient Roman Empire that they're doing. That they'll do. I'm fumbling over my words here, but like what I'm trying to say is that in this day and age, they will do the same things that they did and accomplished in the old Roman Empire, right? So it can't be too different, right? So it says, after fighting off all challengers for centuries, Rome's military power waned, and it was finally overtaken by a series of military losses. Schlage. Military losses to Germanic tribes, including the sacking of Rome in 410 by the Visigoth king Alaric, and another sacking by the Visigoths led by Gaiseric in 455. In 476, the Germanic warrior Odasier uh, led a revolt from within that deposed the Roman Emperor Romulus Augustulus, making him the last Roman emperor to rule Italy from Rome. The eastern part of the empire actually survived until 1453 CE, when Constantinople fell to the Ottoman Turks. All right, so let me see. So let me continue on. Then I'll make my point. So it says here, the U.S. has powerful military opponents like Russia and China, but an all-out conflict involving any of the nuclear powers seems highly unlikely due to mutually assured destruction. Right. So in the writer's mind, a war between any two powers that are nuclear powered is it couldn't happen. And this is the mindset of most Americans, not just this writer, but the vast majority of Americans think this way. They think that they make the point. They'll say this: um, why would we be dumb enough to get into a nuclear war? Would destroy the whole Earth, right? But I say this: why would, if that's the case, why would we be dumb enough to even make such a weapon? if such a weapon would destroy the whole earth, why even make it if you're not going to use it? Because we're such highly intelligent beings that we would never have such a war that would destroy the whole earth. Why did we make them in the first place? Well, they were made to be used. Okay, and this is where I wanted to go with this portion of it. Again, the scriptures have everything written that's going to happen in today's day and age. Everything that's everything that has happened and everything that is going to happen has been written in the scriptures, right? And there will be a war between the nuclear powers, because that's what's going to bring this current power to an end. So I got a couple of scriptures written down. Right. So this is just to answer the question about the whether or not Russia um, or any other nuclear power would actually as a place that America would actually fight with. So this is I'm just going to read the first few verses of it. This is 38. All right, so this is Ezekiel 38:1. It says, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Now we know through the elder apostles teaching us that this is talking about Russia, right? It says, and say, Thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, uh, bring thee and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Right. So again, this is talking about one of those powers that the writer mentions wouldn't be involved in any conflict because of their nuclear ability, right? But that's the way the story was written. Matter of fact, from there I'll go here. What's it? I think that's the. I think that's what. Yeah, this is Isaiah 54 and 16. It says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy." Right. So these weapons were created to be used. That's why these weapons were created. So this it's not in the power of these highly intelligent people that Americans think we are. It's in the hands of the Heavenly Father. He created those weapons for them to be used, and they will be used. Okay. So let me go back. All right. All right. So let's go back here to this article. All right. So it says, let me read that first sentence again. It says, the U.S. has powerful military opponents like Russia and China, but an all out conflict involving any of the nuclear powers seems highly unlikely due to mutually assured destruction. Right. So, in continuing, right, this is the next scripture. Uh, what was it? Jeremiah 51. Do it like that. 51 and 14. Okay. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, that ain't it. Oh, yeah. Bear with me for a second. That ain't it. Let's see. Oh, it. Oh, 50 and 14. What do I got written down here? 51 and 14. Oh, Salakia. All right, let me go up in there and see if there's any other verses up top. Jeremiah 15:14. Okay. It says, "Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about." Again, if you were studious in the scriptures, you would know that Babylon here is talking about America, right? So it says, "Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she have sinned against the Lord." Now, what are those arrows, right? Those arrows are talking about those nuclear missiles. That's what those arrows are. And they're going to be shot on this place. That's what those missiles were created for, to be shot here on this country. Okay. So I also want to go here. Actually, is that the one I have next? No, I don't even have it written down. Yeah, right here. So this is Second Ezra 16 and 1. It says, "Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it?" Right? So that sword, what is this? What is that scripture? Let me open up another one. What's that scripture? This is why I like this online Blue Letter Bible, because even if you don't know the scripture, but you know the words. Oh, it's gonna fuck me up. Right, right. It says it, Isaiah. Let me see, or maybe go to that. Right, right. So, oh no, Second Ezra's what I was reading. Right. So it talks about this sword, right? So let me go here. It says, let me go up in there. Uh, this is um, Isaiah 34:5. It says, "For my sword shall be bathed in." Let me go up a little bit. Yeah, it should be right, right. So let me start here at 4. This is Isaiah 34:4. It says, "And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved." Right, right. Let me just look up that word dissolved. Let me look that word up before. Look up that word dissolve. Maquack. See what that says. This is pine away, consume away, corrupt, dissolve. Let's play it real quick.
Strong's H 4743. Macaque. Macaque.
It says to decay, pine away, rot, fester, to rot, rot away, to molder away, pine away. Let me see. Molder. Slowly decay or disintegrate, especially because of neglect. Uh, I thought I was gonna say something about fire. To pine away, right? So if something is being dissolved, in this case, right? Let's go back to the scripture. You'll as you read on, you'll see that that dissolved is talking about with fire, right? If you've ever seen a piece of paper being lit on fire, when it shrinks and shrivels, it's dissolving due to that heat, right? Let me see something real quick. It looks like it's still recording. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this thing. All right, so this is Isaiah 34:4 says, "And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their host shall fall down as the leaf falleth from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment." Right. So we talked about this at camp this past week. How when you think about a man who is a yielder of the sword, right? What does he do? He takes his sword out of the sheath, right? He brings it up above his head, and then he swings down to strike whoever he's striking, and those missiles take that same course. They come out of the silos, right? Then they swing up into the air, and then they come down to strike the opponent, right? So his sword is being bathed in heaven. So what is that talking about? The nuclear missile, right? So when you go back to Second Ezra's, okay, it says where is this? A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is it? What is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may any one quench the fire and stubble when it hath begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder in his presence? right? The earth quaketh, the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of his power, right? This is the point I want to get to. But going to that, right, that reminded me of uh, this is let's see what we get here. To and fro, drunkard. Yeah, right here, Isaiah 24:20 says, "The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again." Right? Because of the amount of missiles that'll be going off on each side, it's gonna make the earth reel to and fro like a drunkard, right? So when you go back here to Second Ezra's, where it says the earth quaketh, that's what that's talking about, man. Those nuclear missiles hitting from side to side, making the earth reel to and fro. You know, it says, see here, it says the earth quaketh and the foundation thereof, and the sea ariseth up with the waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of his power. It says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world, right? So going back to this, right? All of that is completely contrary to what the writer is saying here. That uh, these major powers won't go to war because of their nuclear capability, but the scriptures say the exact opposite, man. The prophecy says the exact opposite. You see? All right, so let's go see if I got any other scriptures written down here. Right. Oh, that's it, because it made me want to. Let me see, however. All right, Salakia. So, all right, so let me go back to what scripture was that? Joel. Go here. Go to Joel real quick. So I want to make this point, right? To drive home. Joel, I think it is. Yeah. So again, to drive home the point that this final destruction of America is going to happen by that great war. This is Joel 3:1. It says, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel." Right. So let's see how he's going to plead. Right. So what is that? Isaiah 66. 66 and 16. Yep. So let's go here. So Isaiah 66 and 16 says this. It says, "For by fire and a sword will the, will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many." Right. So again, this the scriptures is contrary to what this man is saying. Right. Okay. So did I read all of that? Let me see. I'm in the wrong place. Yeah. So let me go to this next one where it talks about plead, how the Lord will plead, right? It's Ezekiel 38, 22. Right? So it says here, it says, "Son of man, set thy face against God. 22. Salagi. I read that already. This is 38 and 22. It says, "And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many people that are with him an overflowing rain and great hailstones, fire and brimstone." You see. So no matter how you want to hold on to uh, America lasting forever, it can't. The prophecy is already written about its demise, right? So that's all I had for this part. Again, I still want to finish. There's two more reasons that they talk about here, um, and actually in that case, um, there's let me see, is it was that four? No, so yeah, so I still want to do another part to this section. There's another part that I want to go into. So I will, Lord willing, I'll go into another part in this part three. Then I'll move on to the next one. All right. So with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Dash, double honors to the elder apostles of GMS who rule well, and also honor and salutation to those of you who are of the hopeful elect and are out there teaching the word in sincerity and truth. And with that, I say shalom.